Crooked and the WWE Credit One Visa Card present the Royal Rumble.
And thank you for joining us here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It is a cool Friday night here in Chase Field of Phoenix, Arizona, as the road to WrestleMania kicks off here tonight. We've got a stacked card. We've got 2 Royal Rumble matches taking place. The World Tag Team titles up for grabs. And then, of course, Finn Balor and Karrion Kross set to clash for the world title, as well as Bayley and Bianca.
Is the Royal Rumble match. Now, the 2 superstars that drew number 1 and number 2 will start the ring at the same time. Other superstars will join in the order they drew. This will continue until all 30 superstars have entered the ring. Eliminations occur when you are thrown over the top rope with both feet landing on the floor. The last superstar in the ring will be declared the Royal Rumble winner and will go on to face the champion of their choice at WrestleMania!
This is my brutality!
Introducing the participants. First, from Adelaide, Australia, Ripley.
And Ripley set to run the gauntlet of the Rumble at the number 1 position. And you would think right now she's not in the best mentality, as she had recently just lost her women's championship to Charlotte. Well, at the expense of Bayley cashing in, of course. Rhea feels like she didn't even lose the title to begin with. And you know what? She said, I'm going to take the hard route to get back my championship, and I'm going to go all the way in this Rumble match. I'm going to decimate 29 other women in this battle, and I'm going to go to WrestleMania and reclaim my title. Of course, I spoke with Rhea Ripley earlier. I may or may not have spoken with her. I, of course, could be just gaslighting everybody here right now, obviously. But, of course, let's get back to the action as we await number 2. Well, this is a surprise Jordynne Grace from BCW.
Introducing the individual who drew number 2 from Austin, Texas, Jordynne Grace.
And I knew that we were going to get some surprises during this Royal Rumble matchup. And of course, I didn't think that the BCW Women's Champion, Jordynne Grace, was going to be on this matchup this early into the fight, as she currently holds the championship for up to 85 days at the moment, defeating Shotzi back at Unforgiven. And tonight she is here to showcase the brand and is here to possibly go all the way, as her and Rhea Ripley have got a mountain to climb if they want to face either Bayley or whoever the world champion is going to become WrestleMania. And the bell rings, the matchup is underway, and we kick off our 2026 Royal Rumble as Rhea Ripley immediately hit her with a riptide, wasting little to no time here. As right now it seems like Rhea Ripley continuing to keep Jordynne Grace down on the mat as much as possible, trying to inflict some damage already early on into this thing to weaken her up. But obviously Jordynne Grace's, strength is an equal matchup to Rhea Ripley's. And this would be an interesting clash between the two, as Jordynne sets up the Juggernaut driver, plants Ripley on the mat. And this could be an opportunity for her to get her over the top rope. Of course, as referee Mike, not referee, but as ring announcer Mike Rome had said, both feet have got to touch the floor, as we now await the 3rd woman to enter this matchup at the Royal Rumble. Now Bird Lady enters the fray at number 3, Lyra Valkyria. Right now she's playing the smart game, not really intervening too much, but it seems like that may have been overslighted as Rhea Ripley once again just going after the two women. You could see just this is the perfect playing field for Rhea Ripley to just absolutely destroy her competitors in this matchup, especially with letting out her frustrations from losing the championship. And Lyra, multiple slaps to the chest there by the former women's champion as Jordynne Grace Irish whips her into the rope, and it seems like all three women had a miscommunication there as Rhea Ripley could already be the first woman out of this matchup, but instead seems like she was saved by the countdown as we await number 4. And of course, Lyra Valkyria, very familiar with who's coming out here tonight. Kairi Sane, the current Women's Intercontinental Champion. They put on an instant banger, as the kids like to call it, back on SmackDown a couple weeks ago. Or not a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago. As Kairi Sane goes on to Rhea Ripley, and it seemed like Lyra went for that springboard, and of course there's another miscommunication there. Ripley plants Kairi Sane onto the mat. And what could you possibly really do in this instance? The longer this matchup goes, the more the playing field will just gradually get bigger, as Kairi Sane at risk right now of possibly getting eliminated. Slaps there, and of course I had to do my fact checks here. I had to do a fact check really quickly, as Kairi and Lyra had challenged for the Intercontinental title back around last month, earning each other's respect in the process. And now we've got Tiffy time underway as Tiffany gets into the number 5 position. And looks like immediately it seemed like Tiffany could have been eliminated, but instead she goes to work on the Intercontinental Champion into a nice splash onto Kairi. As you see Jordynne and Lyra focusing on each other over there on the right. Rhea Ripley going to compose herself as Tiffany just eliminated the Intercontinental Champion. Tough luck for Kairi Sane, the first woman out of the matchup. As of course her dream of WrestleMania has pretty much just gone and dwindled to get to challenge for the world title. But for these 4 women, I mean, their dream is still alive. I mean, we're only really, very early on into this matchup, so I can't really jinx it or make any predictions right now. But here awaits another woman to enter. As Rhea Ripley sets up instead, Tiffany Stratton into the Riptide. And here's another surprise from BCW. Here comes Miss Shotzi. And focusing on Lyra Valkyria here, these two have had a familiar ally. They are familiar with each other from their time in BCW before Lyra Valkyria had went up to join the SmackDown roster. And Shotzi, one of, it's a very non-argument to say that Shotzi could be one of the best wrestlers to come out of BCW. Of course, she had a long championship run with the women's title for over 166 days when she won it during WrestleMania weekend last year at One Night Stand. But enough about Shotzi right now, as it seems like Rhea Ripley and Tiffany are sparring it out over there as Ripley counters and focuses her attention again on Jordynne Grace. Lyra and Shotzi going after each other, a springboard into the Hurricanrana there, and a kick up by Shotzi. Impressive moveset by the former champion. And speaking of champion, here comes one half of the women's tag team title holders in Katana Chance. She may not be at 100% in this matchup either. She had just recently retained the tag team titles. Oh, and of course I just completely was not paying attention for a split second and didn't realize Jordynne Grace got eliminated. And speaking of eliminated, there goes Lyra. Tough luck for both competitors, but I was mentioning earlier, Katana and Kaden had recently retained their titles against Lash and Jakara last week. And right now it seems like she could possibly add another championship to her resume and possibly challenge Bayley at WrestleMania. And Tiffany and Rhea have been focusing a lot on each other during the onslaught of this matchup, as now we await the next competitor to join. Shotzi and Rhea both in deep trouble right now. And if you thought it couldn't get any more dangerous, here comes the submission magician. But Shotzi's not afraid of her. Not afraid to take on any woman or back down from any fight as she goes after Baszler here, but instead she counters. Rhea Ripley into the Irish whip into the ropes as she eliminates Miss Tiffy time. And Ludwig Kaiser is not going to like the news that he hears after that one. Seeing that his, I guess you could say his, I don't want to say protege. What would be the right word for it? I'm not really sure. But, I mean, Ludwig is her concierge, I guess. I'm not really sure. Anyways, back to the action right now as Shotzi just got busted open by Shayna Baszler. And this is the kind of match that Shayna loves to compete in. She loves getting into the ring and just sparring and getting gritty onto the mat. And Shotzi with another attack onto Katana. And here comes Piper Niven looking to make her Royal Rumble win. Get her a ticket to WrestleMania as Rhea Ripley and Piper Niven going at it, but instead Shayna Baszler wants a taste of it. And this is a callback as well from whenever Rhea and Shayna first competed against each other a couple of years ago, around the time that Shayna broke Asuka's legendary title run of 969 days. As Katana Chance in trouble there, gets taken down by Piper. And Piper's got the size advantage in this matchup. It's going to be very difficult to get her out of this match. And not many people are really focusing on that aspect of it. Every woman in this match has something to prove and has something to bring onto this thing, as Katana Chance in trouble again. But Shotzi gets taken down by the gruesome Shayna Baszler. And Blair Davenport, we have not seen her in in-ring action in quite some time. But Katana Chance had to, I guess, take her moment of getting eliminated as Blair Davenport makes her return tonight in the Royal Rumble match. And another move there by Shotzi. Brilliant execution there as Piper Niven has to go take a breather to the outside, keeping herself invisible as much as possible so that she can catch her breath. And Shayna and Shotzi squaring off in the middle of the ring as she grabs the legs, but instead Shotzi goes for the attack and Blair gets her down as she goes for a springboard and got a miss there. I mean, there's so much chaos happening in the ring that, I mean, there's gonna be some miscalculation from Blair's end as she almost got eliminated. And Piper Niven looking to take out Shayna Baszler, and Shotzi's gonna go to work on Davenport into a DDT as we await number 11. And one half of the Queen's Court, Sonya Deville, the former women's tag team champion, is looking to win some championship gold and possibly make her mentor Charlotte Flair proud. And speaking of Charlotte Flair, she's also going to be in this matchup later on, and that's been confirmed. And hopefully Sonya Deville is going to try to at least, stay in this Rumble match as long as possible, that she can get some backup. But speaking of backup, it doesn't seem like Rhea Ripley's getting some on her end, as Shayna Baszler is just beating the ever-living crap out of her. And Piper Niven onto a powerbomb to Shotzi. Shotzi really the only competitor representing BCW right now, as Davenport is out of the matchup. And now we await number 12, as every woman right now getting warmed up in this thing, and there goes Shotzi. Alba Fire in the number 12 position, and there goes Piper Niven. It seems almost as if every new competitor joins this thing, 2 or 3 get eliminated. And again, Sonya Deville goes into the attack. Alba Fire going after Shayna Baszler. I know they've also had some history with each other in the past. As goes into that attack there onto Ripley. Another vicious onslaught here. I was mentioning Alba Fire springboards into a forearm onto Sonya Deville as Alba held the women's world title for quite some time at 224 days, defeating Shayna Baszler at Vengeance a long while ago. But it's interesting that they're not really going after each other, but I guess Shayna Baszler remembered who the hell took the championship from her, and it seemed like she was going to eliminate her, but with no luck. And the Prodigy makes her way in as Sonya Deville makes her way out. And wasting little to no time as she goes after Rhea Ripley. With Ripley just taking out her frustration as much as possible. And instead, it seems like she is getting weakened the more this matchup goes. We've got 4 competitors right now where each one has got some history of their own. Ripley once again going after Shayna Baszler into that move. And Ripley, the only woman standing at the moment. Well, I say that, and then Roxanne gets up as quick as possible. Goes for the attack onto Alba Fire as Ripley gets the leg drop onto Shayna. You would think right now Roxanne Perez, the current Women's United States champion, she defeated Bianca Belair at New Year's Revolution to be the champion, and she's looking to be a double champ if she wins the Rumble. And here comes the Storm in Jade Cargill. Making her way here, and seems like she's going to play it smart in this thing, but instead goes after the tougher competitors as Baszler's out of it. And what I mean by tougher competitors, they're grittier and they are not afraid to take any repercussions needed to possibly even injure people, and Roxanne gets Alba there. And Roxanne, you would think she could go all the way in this thing again, as she was the finalist, the runner-up of last year's Royal Rumble match when Raquel Rodriguez won it. She was unfortunately, unsuccessful at defeating Rhea Ripley last year at WrestleMania. But tonight she's looking to right her wrongs as she hits the Pop Rocks onto Cargill. And Rhea Ripley, instead, wasting no time, saw that Roxanne was open and hit her with the Riptide. Dakota Kai, the former the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion, looks to set her up and gets Rhea Ripley. And Dakota has not forgotten that she felt like she was very close to winning the women's title, and instead she gets her payback. Karma feels good for Dakota Kai as she eliminates Rhea Ripley. And you see the frustration. Rhea Ripley absolutely furious on the outside as her one opportunity to make it to WrestleMania to get a rematch for her championship that she feels like she never lost, just taken away from her by Dakota Kai. And we've got to focus back in on the action as we had a nice suplex there by Alba Fire. 4 straight hoopers in this ring right now. And speaking of hoopers, Valhalla's in this thing. And another drop kick as Jade Cargill gets eliminated. And I know Valhalla and Alba Fire, a double sequence there. Great execution by Dakota and Valhalla. She is looking to win some championship gold of her own, and there goes Roxanne, and goes Dakota.
Dakota Kai has been eliminated.
Double elimination there in just a couple of seconds. And Alba Fire and Valhalla very familiar with each other, like I mentioned. Valhalla, her most recent championship matchup was around like a year or two ago when she faced Alba Fire for the women's world title. And Valhalla looking to also get some of her payback onto Alba. And they are the only two women in this thing. These things can happen in the Royal Rumble match. You could go from 12 competitors at the same time, or even up until just one. But it is game over as the Empress is looking to head back into the WrestleMania main event. And it seems there Alba Fire got eliminated. Asuka focuses her attention onto the gruesome and gritty member of the Viking Raiders. And it seems like she's going for a cross or an arm bar there. Not really going to do much during a matchup where you don't have stipulations, but it's smart for Asuka to do so as she weakens the arms enough so that Valhalla doesn't have enough strength to grab the ropes. She cranks the neck once more onto Asuka, but a submission specialist in the Empress knows how to get out of every hold imaginable as she tries to eliminate Valhalla as much as possible. Valhalla, of course, is out of here, as I was going to say that she was looking at. And speaking of once more, Isla Dawn makes her return tonight alongside with Blair. And Blair Davenport already got eliminated, but Isla Dawn looking to win this Rumble here tonight and go face the world champion. Great back and forth between the two as Isla Dawn takes her down and stuns the Empress. And you hear the reaction from the crowd. Isla Dawn, a pretty fan favorite around here. We hadn't seen her in quite some time due to injury, as she throws Asuka to the outside, try to eliminate her so that she can be the only one in this thing. And that would be the best strategy to go with. Every single time it could be a one-on-one, and you manage to get them out, then you got the ring to yourself. But the con of that as well is you never really know who's going to come out next. And Asuka once more setting up the Asuka lock onto Isla. She's in trouble here. She could go to sleep, and as a result, wouldn't even be conscious enough to get out of it. And Joshi wrestling underway as Io Sky makes her way down. And her tag team partner, Kairi Sane, already eliminated earlier in this matchup. But Asuka and Io have some history with each other as well, dating back to their Japan days, as both of them going after the returning Isla. Irish whip into the corner, but instead it seems like Isla countered. And what a great move there. Great fake out, as it seemed like she was going to go after Io, but instead focused on Asuka and plants her down. And once more, Io Sky suplexes Isla Dawn onto the middle of the ring, onto the Prime bottle. Oh my God. Kick to the back once more. Asuka's going to take a breather here as she watches Io Sky. And I don't think she was going to make that jump from all the way over there. Some communication between the two. Try to figure out where they want to go from here, who they want to eliminate, or if they should just wait until the next competitor comes in. And Schism is represented in the Women's Rumble as the maniacal Scarlett goes after Asuka and gets her onto the mat. And Scarlett, we will also see her later tonight as her husband Karrion Kross, and there goes Io Sky as she is eliminated. And as I was mentioning, her husband Karrion Kross still has a championship matchup later against the defending champion Finn Balor. Right now we've got several things that they've got in mind here, as Isla Dawn looking to eliminate Scarlett from this thing. and instead she's going to counter. Asuka watching along as both women slug it out against each other. Irish whips her on the rope, and it seemed like she was trying to throw her out here. As now we await the next competitor into the Rumble match. And the former women's tag team champion enters the matchup. As Liv Morgan stated, she was looking to go all the way in this Rumble and become women's champion at WrestleMania, but instead it seemed like Asuka's gonna break her dream as Isla Dawn hits her with that ripcord knee, it seemed, as Liv Morgan springboarded and tried to go for Asuka, but Asuka was too focused. Brilliant in-ring IQ from the Empress to focus her attention on another competitor. And, I mean, with gravity, Liv Morgan is not going to win. It has its advantages and disadvantages. Morgan goes for those elbow shots to Isla Dawn, and Scarlett focuses her attention onto Liv Morgan and plants her on the mat. As Isla Dawn has got Asuka up over the ropes, all she's got to do is toss her to the outside to eliminate her, as she's getting some help here from Scarlett, but instead Asuka counters. And Liv Morgan's got some help in this matchup, and there goes Isla Dawn. And the former women's tag team champions Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss are going to work together in this thing, as people undoubtedly say that Liv and Alexa are the best women's tag team champions in recent memory, and I mean, I can't really argue with that. They had some pretty great feuds and title matches, and there goes Asuka. Her WrestleMania dream done and gone, as Scarlett looking to clean up the rubble that is left in this Rumble match, and instead she gets hit by a DDT from Alexa Bliss. And now these two friends are gonna go at it here. As, I mean, you can have as many allies into the Rumble match as possible, but at the end of the day, there can only be one winner. And Liv and Alexa, they want that opportunity as much as anybody else in this match. In the number 23 position is the other half of the former women's tag team champions in Tamina, and former BCW women's champion as well. Part of the group of the Queen's Court, but it seems like she doesn't have any help to support her when Sonya Deville got eliminated earlier. Maybe she can wait for Charlotte to come into this thing. Liv Morgan into the drop kick, and once more, nobody was home for it. Another attack there by Bliss. Bliss is going to focus her attention on what's going on around the ring as Tamina slams Liv Morgan out of the corner, and Liv Morgan in trouble. Alexa Bliss, and goes for that attack onto her partner. And I mean, they did state to each other that they're, and an oblivion by Liv Morgan. They stated that they're going to do whatever it takes. If it gets to a point where they're the final two, there are no friendships between the two in that moment. And now we have more BCW representation, as the beautiful Madness Julia is in the Rumble and sets her sights on Scarlett, but instead Scarlett counters there, as Tamina tried to get her into getting eliminated as soon as possible, but instead she got countered. Liv Morgan focuses her attention on Julia, as Julia had just had a women's championship matchup in that fatal four-way back at Super Showdown in December. And tonight, she said, I'm going to go to WrestleMania and I'm going to win some championship gold. As Tamina looking to eliminate Scarlett over there in the corner, and another attack by Alexa Bliss onto Morgan. And Julia's going to take a breather while all of the women are focused on each other in this matchup, as now we await the next competitor. And my man Becky Lynch is in, and once more Alexa Bliss eliminated by her tag team partner. Every time somebody enters, it seems like every time somebody enters, somebody gets out. And once more, there goes Scarlett's forehead as she just got busted open by Julia. An Irish whip into the ropes here as Liv Morgan tried to take out Becky Lynch, but she miscalculated there. And Becky got very lucky that she was not eliminated there. Could be a sign that she could possibly win this thing as Scarlett goes onto those multiple Lupezes onto Becky Lynch. And Liv Morgan and Scarlett, both competitors, have had the most control in this matchup so far, as we now await the next competitor for the Royal Rumble. And Kaden Carter declared herself to be in the Rumble matchup. The other half of the current Women's Tag Team Champions enters the fight. And we know the history already with Tamina and Kaden Carter. Their respective teams were feuding a while back, and there goes Scarlett as she is eliminated. She was hoping to win some gold here, and there goes Tamina as well. Scarlett was looking to capture some gold for the Schism faction, but it seems like that dream has been put on the shelf. Kaden Carter, Becky Lynch working together to take out Julia, to take out this fearsome striker that is the Beautiful Madness. And while all of this is happening, Liv Morgan's gonna focus her attention back into this thing, and there goes Julia. And Becky grabbing her by the handful of hair by the man, as Kaden Carter didn't watch, but Liv Morgan got taking Becky Lynch to the mat. And Charlotte Flair in the same position that Rhea Ripley was in earlier, where she has built up frustration from losing her women's championship to Bayley at New Year's Revolution. As she Irish whips, and there goes Kaden Carter, and there goes Becky Lynch. Liv and Charlotte focusing on each other. Morgan right now, as we've got Tatum Paxley from BCW in the number 28 position. We had thought that Charlotte got eliminated there for a minute, but I guess that did not happen. We saw there that she hit her with the Oblivion, and Charlotte rolled to the outside, but it was not over the top rope, meaning that Charlotte is still in this matchup. There's Liv Morgan and Tatum Paxley going to focus on each other here as she Irish whips her into the corner once more. This is another one-on-one situation in this matchup currently, as she gets Tatum back up onto her feet. We know Tatum Paxley has been in a pretty heated rivalry with Stephanie Vaquer in BCW. And tonight she is looking to win her first Rumble and go to WrestleMania, but instead Liv Morgan tried to shatter that dream, but Tatum Paxley still resilient and still going. And we await number 29. Diamond Mines Ivy Nile is looking to deadlift, as she liked to say, she was gonna pick up the dead weight in the Rumble matchup and go to WrestleMania, as she sets her focus onto Tatum. Tried to Irish whip her onto the rope here, as Tatum now on a dangerous part of this matchup onto the outside, but I don't know really why Ivy Nile didn't want to capitalize there for a minute. Tatum Paxley gonna instead go for her own move onto Ivy Nile. As these three competitors bringing everything they've got, Liv Morgan onto that bullet drop kick, and Ivy Nile grabs a handful of hair just in time, but Liv Morgan managed to get out of it, and a chop block, it seems, by Tatum, trying to weaken the legs of Liv as much as possible so that she can't stand up properly, and it would be harder to get her out. As number 30 makes their way in, And it is once more BCW's Stephanie the Kid. And she is looking to win her Rumble match. I know Tatum Paxley also on the same situation as her, but it doesn't seem like Stephanie is focusing her attention onto Tatum Paxley, as Ivy Nile with a nice suplex, it seemed there, onto Stephanie. Ivy Nile trying to hype the crowd up here as we are down to our final competitors in the Royal Rumble matchup. One of these women going to go and make history, going to cement themselves in the record books and make a name for themselves to possibly even be women's champion in April as Liv hits the, I think it's called the Code Red, I'm not really sure. She goes for Code Breaker, it seems, and Liv Morgan goes for that knee to the corner onto Stephanie. Tatum Paxley and Ivy Nile focusing their attention onto each other as Stephanie Vaquer gets eliminated by Morgan. And we are down to, oh, and Charlotte Flair immediately hit an attack onto Ivy Nile, returning back to the ring as we are now officially onto the final four. The final four lineup in the Women's Royal Rumble matchup. Charlotte, an attack there onto Ivy Nile, throws her out of the ring, and there goes the pit bull of Diamond Mine, and another back elbow there by Charlotte. Tatum Paxley, could you imagine? I think she's got to be really the dark horse in this matchup. Could you imagine a BCW competitor winning the Royal Rumble match? What a way that would skyrocket their career. And instead, Tatum Paxley, she's bringing the fight, bringing everything she possibly can into the fray. Irish whips her into the corner, it seemed, and Charlotte was going to go attack Tatum, but Liv Morgan has plans of her own. And once more, Irish whips her onto the outside. Charlotte Flair in trouble. Tatum Paxley focusing her attention onto Liv Morgan. Goes for that attack there. Charlotte once more looking to try to set this up as a one-on-one brawl between two women. And it's really the case where one of them's got to get out. Whoever makes one wrong move is out of this thing. Liv Morgan focusing on Tatum Paxley. Charlotte seems like she's going to just take a breather here and let them do the work. Charlotte, a years-long veteran, onto that back elbow. It goes for a spear of sorts onto Tatum. Liv Morgan is going to glow here for a little bit, I guess. I think this is just the dangerous aspect of this matchup right now. No woman in this matchup wants to risk even being near the ropes right now. But it's going to have to happen. Somebody's going to have to win the matchup. Somebody's going to go to WrestleMania. And it's either going to be Charlotte, Tatum, or Liv Morgan that are currently in this fray. Tatum Paxley right now. Vicious kick to the back by Liv Morgan. Or by Tatum Paxley onto Liv Morgan. Dodges multiple attacks there by the Queen. Irish whips her. Instead, it seems like Liv Morgan going to try to focus again, but she's been miscalculating as there's been so much chaos happening that she has not been able to properly execute or even, plan where her competitors are going to be nearby. Goes for another move onto Tatum Paxley as Charlotte tried to also take advantage of the downed competitor. Okay, I don't know how many times Liv Morgan's going to try this. She keeps going for it, but I think she's really just miscalculating, or maybe she just likes the thrill of taking that bump there. And some back elbows by the Queen. In trouble. Liv Morgan plants her back onto her knee. Tatum Paxley takes her down. Tatum Paxley could make history here tonight to be the first BCW competitor to win the Rumble match. And Liv Morgan, another attack there. We've got three brands all represented right now in the final three. You've got Charlotte Flair from Raw, Liv Morgan from SmackDown, and Tatum Paxley from BCW. Which one of these competitors is going to make their dream a reality as Tatum Paxley's dream, it seems to be almost shattered here, but instead she's going to try to go after Liv's knee and shatter it, possibly. Charlotte Flair going for an attack on both women. Tatum Paxley focuses her attention onto Charlotte, onto the drop kick. Another attack there. The Queen is in trouble. Goes for a deadlift. Takes her down onto the mat. Liv Morgan recovers and hits her with the double knees. Liv Morgan looking to fulfill her destiny. Somebody's going to get out of this thing at one point, but Tatum Paxley, every woman in this matchup, resilient and not wanting to give up. And Liv Morgan eliminates Tatum as we're down to our final two competitors. One of these women going to go to WrestleMania 6 in Las Vegas to challenge whoever the Women's World Champion will be by that time. And it looks like it would be Bayley in this instance. Could you imagine either Bayley or versus Liv Morgan, or Bayley versus Charlotte Flair? And Charlotte gets her onto the corner here. Liv Morgan in trouble, gets slammed onto the mat. Charlotte Flair not really wanting to take any risks right now. She knows the gravitude of what this matchup can do for her. Liv Morgan going for that attack there on Charlotte Flair. Excuse me. Charlotte Flair, the more seasoned veteran in this matchup, but Liv Morgan, it gets taken down by a natural selection. Liv Morgan has nothing to lose in this instance, looking to win the Rumble match, but Charlotte Flair eliminates her, and the Queen is going to WrestleMania. You see during the replay, during the final four of this matchup, Morgan tried to bring everything that she could into that match, but instead it was unfortunately the end of her night, as Tatum Paxley went for that move onto Charlotte, and Liv Morgan hit that double code red, it seemed. Went for that Irish whip and eliminated Tatum in the process. And then there was two between Charlotte and Liv, as both women did not want to risk any possible chance of being eliminated. But unfortunately for Liv Morgan, it seems like her dream of WrestleMania got shattered by the Queen, as she now has a ticket to a rematch to challenge Bayley for the Women's World Championship, as she stares at the WrestleMania sign. Congratulations to Charlotte Flair, your 2026 Royal Rumble winner.
The following is a tag team match set for one fall, and is for the WWE Tag Team and WWE World Tag Team Championships. Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 505 pounds, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, the OC.
And the OC tonight finally getting a World Tag Team title opportunity against the dominant Viking Raiders, as Anderson and Gallows had said, you know what, Styles has been focused on his career, and ever since they've been aligned with him, they felt like they need to also chase after their goals, and their biggest one so far is taking out this legendary title run.
And introducing introducing the champions at a combined weight of 552 pounds, the WWE Tag Team Champions and the WWE World Tag Team Champions, Eric and Ivar, the Viking Raiders.
The Viking Raiders are now officially the longest reigning World Tag Team Champions in history, unifying the championships back at SummerSlam when they defeated Schism. And tonight, they are set for another Tag Team Championship defense against the Good Brothers. Bell rings, match goes underway, and immediately Ivar goes right after Carl Anderson. And this is the thing that is dangerous about facing the Viking Raiders, is that they are not afraid to immediately go after you. As Carl Anderson, showcasing his strength here, went for that suplex on Ivar, but goes for a kick out early on into this matchup. And the knee taken down there by Carl Anderson. And they earned this opportunity by challenging the Viking Raiders and backstage, mentioning that the only reason you guys are even champions because you have not challenged us recently. And the last time they did challenge the Viking Raiders, it was very early on in the championship run of the champions. Luke Gallows goes for that neck breaker there onto the bigger man Ivar. Goes for the cover there. Could we possibly see this end up early, but instead we get a kick out there, excuse me. And applying some pressure onto Ivar, but with both competitors showcasing that they are powerhouses in this matchup. But that is the thing that is unique about the Viking Raiders, is that they are bigger competitors. They can be powerhouses, but at the same time, they can move like cruisers. And the thing with the OC is that you've got a mix of both. Carl Anderson being the more striking and technical, and he moves at a very quick pace. He's a quick striker. He's very high IQ ring aware when it comes to his matches. And Luke Gallows, the bigger man in the matchup, is essentially the muscle of the group, where he can help out as much as possible in taking out bigger competitors. As Ivar makes the tag there to Eric. Two great teams, two unique structures between the two. Luke Gallows goes for a kick. Sorry there, oh my god, I don't know what happened to me there. He went for a kick in the corner, as now Eric and Luke Gallows focus their attention onto each other. And goes for a knee there by the champion. And once more, the Viking Raiders have just gone through every single challenge put in front of them, as their most recent title defense was against Joe Coffey and Wolfgang in Gallus. He goes for the double team there as they take Eric down onto the mat. The punch there as he makes his way onto the match. Actually, the last time that their championship, that they faced each other for the tag team titles, was back at New Year's Evil in 2024, about 2 years ago. And that ended up with the Viking Raiders successfully defending the titles. But tonight, history could be overridden. I know Gallows and Anderson, as well as the Viking Raiders, have grown as competitors, and they've grown as people since then. And Ivar, once more, just taunting the crowd here, trying to hype them up as Luke Gallows gets out of that elbow into the big boot onto the big man Ivar. Gets him once more. Just the strength of Luke Gallows, able to just pick up a man the size of Ivar with just his bare hands and grabbing him by the head. As you can already see that Luke Gallows is limping, as it already tells me that he's not in the best condition now in this matchup. Carl Anderson seems like he's still good to go and fresh in this match. But Luke Gallows, it seems like he may have some damage there onto his torso as Gallows watches along as his partner Carl Anderson goes for the cover, but instead gets broken up by Eric. We have noticed that a lot of the Viking Raiders' most recent matches have been kind of sneakingly. They've been trying every way possible to win the matchup, even if it is morally right or not. And Luke Gallows once more going for that Boston Crab onto the champion, but instead Ivar, he is not going to go down that easily. It's going to take a lot more to take him down. We do know in the next couple of weeks, we will be hosting once more the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, which will feature 16 of the best tag team competitors that are a broad range of, tag teams that have been together for many, many years and are a craft of the game, as Ivar just straight up planted Carl Anderson onto the mat and is going to glow here, and oh my goodness, missed that splash there with nobody home, and that could take into effect for Ivar, as it seems like he already got damaged by his torso, or got damage to his torso. And as I was saying earlier, instead there's so much action happening right now that I can't really process what's going on, and being able to get my words out makes the tag. No, it didn't seem like he made the tag. He's just going after Carl Anderson. He gets him once more back up. Irish whips him into the corner, makes the tag to his tag team title brethren, as they are already going for what seems like the Ragnarok. And that is going to be the beginning of the end for the OC, and a kick out though by Luke Gallows. It is going to take a lot more than that to take him down. And a shoulder tackle there by the challenger, and as I was mentioning earlier, before anything else happens, multiple kicks there by Luke Gallows. 16 of the best competitors from different backgrounds. Then you may even see some pairings that have not paired up before in the past, all for one opportunity to challenge the World Tag Team Champions at WrestleMania in Las Vegas. We could either see the Viking Raiders head into WrestleMania for the second year in a row as champions, or we could change the shift in the OC walking in as champs. Once more, another attack, and Eric, another punch onto the machine gun Carl Anderson. The reason they call him the machine gun is he's so quick as a striker, you don't really know or you're going to be even able to dodge anything out of it. And another attack though onto Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson using those few seconds that Eric was distracted to take advantage, as Carl Anderson sets him up into that cutter there onto, and it seems instead that Ivar is going to break up the count and keep his tag team partner alive for a little while longer. Another move there by Ivar into that vicious knee there as he goes once more onto Luke Gallows. A lot of the strategy of the Viking Raiders is keep one man singled out from the rest of the matchup. The more you target one competitor, the easier it is to win. Carl Anderson, I think he's starting to pick up on that. Ivar tried to go for an attack, but didn't really do much. Didn't distract Carl Anderson as much as he wanted him to. And another belly-to-belly suplex onto Carl Anderson. And Ivar, you can see himself hyping the crowd up, trying to get as much momentum as he possibly can, but instead Luke Gallows enters the matchup again, and another splash onto the big man Gallows. Ivar once more looking to finish him off for good. Spikes him, and that's going to be it, folks. Ivar into the cover as they look to retain the titles, and instead Luke Gallows continues to fight. Continues to fight in any way he can as he goes for that DDT onto Ivar. And he's got to capitalize while he's got him down. One of the things with the Viking Raiders It is very difficult to keep them down, and when they are, they cannot waste any time whatsoever. Once more, getting him back up to his feet. Irish whips into the corner, makes a tag to his partner, and here comes Carl Anderson again. Double team, and it seems like they're going to set up the magic killer. They got him there. Carl Anderson looking to end the legendary title run, but instead, Eric is going to break it up and keep his team alive just a little longer. Elbow drop there by the machine gun, and once more sets up another tag by Luke Gallows. It would make you think what is really going to have to occur during this thing for each competitor to give it everything they've got. Is another double team there. As Ivar, you could see already the battle scars on his forehead from this tag team championship matchup. Ivar looking to power slam Carl Anderson onto the mat, onto the prime bottle. Luke Gallows, I don't think they're really getting much. I don't think this is really looking too good for the Good Brothers here. He makes the tag, and it looks like this matchup is going to be finished off with another Ragnarok, the second one executed, and that one's going to be it as he goes for the cover. The Viking Raiders retain, but instead Carl Anderson still fighting, still going. He is not going to give up no matter what you put in front of him. And Eric is at this point, we know that Eric's strategy is he likes to use those submissions when they start reaching into the deep waters of the matchup. Their intention isn't really to make them tap out, but instead inflict as much damage as they possibly could so that the Ragnarok would get set up easier. And Carl Anderson tried to go for a double team to get Luke Gallows into this, but instead it was reversed. And went for another execution there by Carl Anderson. Goes for the cover again, and instead Ivar, you see him running just very last second to break up the count, and instead there goes Ivar. War Raiders in trouble. We could see new tag team champions crowned at the Rumble. And another double team once more by Gallows. He is now the legal man, the legal competitor in this matchup. And Ivar, he's got different plans in mind. As you can see there, already the desperation occurring. Going for the roll-up. Instead, Luke Gallows counters it. Once more, could this be the end sequence? And another kick out there by Ivar. It's a very smart idea that both of them tried there. As Luke Gallows goes to crank the neck of Eric. And he's so far away from his corner that there's not really much he can do right now other than fend for himself, as that is exactly what Eric is doing as he goes for that stiff clothesline onto Luke Gallows, which opens up the opportunity for him to tag his brother in from the Viking Raiders. But I think Eric's got other plans. He's going to instead go to remove that turnbuckle. Gonna go Irish whip Luke Gallows, but instead the plans changed, and Eric gets that steel reinforced onto his spine. My God, that's gotta hurt. Well, Luke Gallows very smart here, cranking the neck. He knows the spine is connected to pretty much where any damage of his neck is gonna be. I think that's smart, but right now Eric setting him up once more, and this time going after Luke Gallows again. They've got to take advantage of this while it's here and take advantage of the opportunity. Ivar again, possibly looking to set up Ragnarok for the third time, but I think he changed his mind. Changed his mind, and he's going to instead take matters into his own hands. Oh my God, excuse my voice crack there for a minute. Hyping the crowd up. Letting everybody know who the hell the Viking Raiders are. Goes for the cover as they are set to retain the titles, but instead Carl Anderson kicks out. What a matchup this is so far, ladies and gentlemen. The referee trying to fix the turnbuckle already. We are now in deep water territory for this tag team championship matchup between the champions Eric and Ivar, the Viking Raiders, against the challengers Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Good Brothers, the OC. It doesn't matter how you call them. All that you should call them probably by the end of the night is champions. Instead, it seems like Eric is going to try to crush that dream. Carl Anderson into a neck breaker there onto Eric. And this is the opportunity that Carl's needing. He's got an opening anywhere around him, and he goes right after Eric and sets his sights onto Ivar. That's exactly what you need to do right now. Is that these two, if they can do this with other competitors, I don't see what would be the issue with Gallows and Anderson trying this method. Irish. Oh my God. He's amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Right now gets him into the corner again, and a double team by Eric and Ivar. Once more looking to throw them over, and instead it goes for that power slam. Could this be the end sequence? Is Carl Anderson with a very close near fall. I don't know what the hell it's going to take these two out. Oh, there goes Luke Gallows. I guess I stand corrected on that end. But Carl Anderson, a resilient competitor who is not looking to give up or even want to give up just yet. As Luke Gallows, nothing for him to do as they hit the Ragnarok. Good night, Carl Anderson. The champs live to see another day as the tag team of this industry. You see there in the replay sequence, this was a very stiff back and forth between both tag teams as Ivar and Eric, impressive showing onto Gallows and Anderson. There was plenty of double team sequences, as you can see there, by the OC, throwing everything that they possibly could, throwing caution to the wind to possibly even just get an opportunity to be tag team champions. With those titles, the Viking Raiders hold with such prestige that every title match that they have feels like $1 million. He went for that magic killer there. Well, it was not the magic killer, but he went for that bullet shotgun, I believe it could be called. Just an impressive matchup all around. Saw there Carl Anderson was limping and did not have enough strength to even move out of the way for Eric to get him. And that was all that she wrote as the Raiders continue their run.
Here are yours and Eric and Ivar, the Viking Raiders.
Impressive title retention by Eric and Ivar. The question remains, who the hell is going to beat them? Who the hell would win the Dusty Classic? And now they've punched their ticket to WrestleMania.
The following is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE Women's World and WWE Women's Championships.
I'm on my
It's been a while since Bianca Belair has been in the World Championship picture. The last time she competed for the world title was when she faced Rhea Ripley at Halloween Havoc 2 years ago. And then since she returned from injury, she had captured and became the inaugural Women's US Champ. And tonight, she's got a big stepping stone ahead of her in the double champ. Bayley successfully cashing in her women's Money in the Bank contract a couple of weeks ago at New Year's Revolution, as she now holds the Unified Championships. And tonight,
introducing the
we're up for grabs.
From Knoxville, Tennessee, Bianca Belair. And her opponent, from San Jose, California, the WWE Women's World Champion and the WWE Women's Champion, Bayley.
And that is what it is all about, ladies and gentlemen. The opportunity to become the top female in the women's division, as the Women's World Championship on the line between the new champion Bayley making her first title defense. And the bell rings, the match is underway. Let's see if we're gonna get some graps. And we immediately start things off with the collar and elbow tie-up between both competitors. I know Bayley and Bianca were very excited to face each other here tonight, as the tail of the tape shows, of course, that Bianca Belair earned this title opportunity after she won, or she was a part of Team Raw in the in the Brand Warfare Survivor Series matchup back at War Games, and she ended up later on winning the Fatal 4-Way between the women that were in the winning team, to earn herself the opportunity to compete here at the Rumble, even despite, she doesn't really, qualify. Well, I mean, obviously she does qualify. I don't know what I'm saying. She does qualify to challenge for the women's title. I mean, she is a former women's champion herself. Of course, she had eventually lost the championship to Rhea Ripley after Ripley just completely threw her off of the Hell in a Cell from like 20 feet in the air. That put her on the shelf for quite some time. Bianca had returned. She had returned, became the inaugural Women's US Champ. Had a feud with Scarlett and challenged and retained the championship against her, until she eventually lost the title to Roxanne Perez at New Year's Revolution. And Bayley, her story obviously dates back. Going for the cover here, it seems that she's trying to put her away early and instead goes for a kick out. And her story starts very long ago, of course, when her and Charlotte were the inaugural Women's Tag Team Champions a couple years ago. So eventually they had a falling out. Bayley winning the Money in the Bank contract, letting her statement know very early ahead of time that if she was going to cash in on anybody, she was going to cash in on Charlotte, as Bianca goes for that spine buster there. And Charlotte was a woman of her word. She did exactly that, and she cashed in on Charlotte a couple weeks ago. But now it seems like Charlotte Flair, now that she's punched her ticket to WrestleMania, that pretty much guarantees it's either going to be Bianca. It's either going to be Bayley or Charlotte, or Bianca versus Charlotte. It would really depend on the outcome of this matchup, as we've got a championship match underway. Bayley tried to go for that clothesline, instead countered there by Belair. Another forearm, goes for a punch there onto the challenger, onto the former women's champion. Once more, she's just pacing around her, trying to figure out what strategy she wants to go here. Goes for the comeback sequence, and instead Bianca gets her in the nick of time. Goes for a roll-up, it seems, here, and Bayley looking to finish things off early in the matchup, and a kick out there by Belair. A drop kick there by the challenger. Tried to do some gloating there for a second, but it seemed like Bayley is going to change her plans. Dropped her onto the mat, and Bianca Belair paces around the ring here, looking to suplex her onto the outside as Bayley hits the mat hard. Bianca Belair taking every opportunity she can right now to take out the weakened champion. Bianca doesn't really have any remorse for, you know, ending Bayley's championship run this early on. As of course Bayley is now the two-time women's champion, as Bayley counters and takes her down on the mat. It looked like she was going to go for the kiss of death, but instead Bayley saw it coming a mile away. I know Bayley is a student of her craft, who always lets me know that she tape studies her matches against her opponents so that she knows the right times and the right sequences of when they're going to capitalize and use their arsenal. And Bianca's also got a very smart ring IQ, always aware of everything happening around her and never letting her opponents take advantage of the situation around them as Bayley goes for that kick out. Wait, what could you possibly do in this instance? Bianca goes for a splash onto the champion. And with Bayley's cash-in, I mean, the match was pretty much set in stone where both titles were going to be unified, and with Bayley's cash-in, it pretty much reaffirmed it. Goes for multiple sequences there. Goes for another attack. Instead, Bayley counters. Kick to the gut there by Bianca. Another fend-off attack, taking down Bayley. Bianca Belair right now, I don't know what she's got in mind here. Running in the corner and gets Bayley down onto the mat. Instead, Bayley's going to capitalize and counter. Tried to go for what it seemed like. Instead, Bianca hits that knee to the back of Bayley's head onto a nice splash there by Bianca Belair. They keep trying to go for each other's finishers, but instead it's just a back and forth between both women as Bayley once more takes down Bianca. And this could already be the predecessor as Bayley looking to hit the rose plant onto Bianca Belair, and she got her. Cover now. Bianca Belair in trouble as Bayley is set to defend and retain, but instead she's going to kick out. I think it's going to take a lot more than that. Instead of a spear there by Bianca. Goes for the cover again. This time she could catch her off guard, and instead it's a kick out again by the role model. Calls herself the role model, but she feels like she has been the predecessor of the women's division for a long time. Bianca Belair is not going to take no for an answer. She's going to continue to keep fighting. If we see a roll-up sequence here, this matchup could end early. We've seen plenty of matches in the past where it has ended by roll-up. I mean, it is a possibility that you lose your focus for even just 3 seconds, or even just a couple of seconds, and that's all that it takes to capitalize. And Bayley once more focusing on the leg of Bianca Belair here. Goes for a cover once more. Is this it? Can she finish her off? And instead it's a 1 count by the EST. And right now it seems like Bayley's growing desperate, trying to pin Bianca. I don't think the second or the third or the fourth or the fifth or the sixth or the seventh or the 8th time is going to really do much in trying to pin her. She's going to keep trying to kick out. Bayley's got to think of something else in mind here. If she's on the outside, I don't really know what she could have planned, possibly in store. once more, again on the ringside. Bianca and Bayley slugging it out and suplexes her. Body slams her onto the mat once more. Bayley just taking more damage out here than Bianca is. And I think that's one of the main advantages she's looking to use, is use her environment as much as possible to weaken Bayley. Seems like she's going for a... I think this is a surfboard, but... Bayley countering into a cover. Brilliant sequence there as Bianca got out of it. And once more, looking to plant face first, the champion, and Bianca Belair looking to taste championship gold once again. But Bayley back elbows her into the middle of the ring. And another comeback sequence by Bayley. This time she's fired up. She's feeling herself. And she sets up one more, hyping up the crowd here. Onto the attack. And Bayley, wasting a little bit of time, went for that. I think she tried to go for the rose plant, but instead Bianca saw that coming from a mile away. And now this time Bianca setting her focus on getting as many shots into Bayley as possible. Bianca heads to the top, looking to use her gymnastics background, her acrobatics, and attack Bayley and take her down to the mat. Cover now, is this it? Do we have a new women's champion? And instead, Bayley's going to continue. She's going to continue to fight, and she's going to continue to keep going. Bianca, another power slam onto Bayley. It's really at a matter of point where you've got to think about what the hell they've got to do to even finish this matchup here. They're just deadlifting Bayley like she's a stuffed animal. Just showcases the strength that Bianca Belair possesses, while Bayley is very aware of everything around her. And once more, going to set up for the rose plant. The cunning Bayley hits it here. Goes for, instead she wasn't going to go for a cover. She heads up to the top, possibly going for an elbow drop. Homage to one of her favorites, the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Cover now, is this it? The champ looking to retain, but instead she kicks out. I think it's going to take way more than that to put away Bianca. It took a lot out of Roxanne to even take the championship from her. Imagine in a world championship setting. There's a reason why Bianca was such a dominant women's world champion whenever she did hold it. And Bianca counters once more. This time gets Bayley up on her shoulders, sets up the KOD. She got her. That's got to be it. Into the cover here as Bayley looks to get pinned, but instead she breaks it up. Stays in this fight and continues to keep going. But Bianca Belair is looking to put an end to her parade as she goes to the top once more. And this time Bayley deadlifting her as she slams her onto the mat. Bayley, this time she's got the advantage. She's got her right where she wants her, into the rose plant. And that's it, folks. Bayley looking to retain the championship tonight, and a kick out though by Belair. What the hell do you got to do to put her away? It's so much at this point, so much grown frustration right now as Bayley try to go for an attack onto Bianca. Instead, she counters. Nice suplex there by the champion. And Bianca playing the smart strategy, playing the smart game, and staying away from Bayley as much as possible. Get as much breathing room as you can. The most important thing in this matchup you got to consider is you've got to be able to breathe. If you don't breathe, I mean, obviously you're not going to be able to get any circulation into your brain and even be able to think quickly on your feet and be able to process what's happening. Without it, you're pretty much cooked. With vicious slaps, and we've got a slugfest between both women. instead, oh my goodness, it seemed there. Oh, and Bayley, this time in trouble. Bianca sets up the sequence. Charles Robinson, get the hell out of the way. And Bianca, you already see that she's limping, very damaged in her torso, as Bayley now not even going to be able to see when Bianca's coming. And she's looking to run at her. Oh, and great in-ring awareness by Bayley. That's that the IQ sequence. And oh my God! Whip the hair! The braid by Bianca Belair, looking to put away Bayley. Hits the kiss of death. And that's going to be it, folks. We've got a new women's world champion lined up here. Referee into the cover as the role model instead is going to kick out. This crowd soaking it in here tonight. They can't believe that these two women are putting on an absolute clinic. Putting on an absolute classic here tonight. I don't think they've ever competed against each other in the past. But after tonight, I definitely don't want it to be the last. And Bayley in trouble. Bianca up to the corner. And instead, Bayley counters just ahead of time. Once more, grabs a hold of her waist into the Bayley to belly. Gets her up once more. Doesn't want to cover her just yet. And goes for the rose plant. And that's got to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Bayley looking to retain, and she does. Continues her women's title run here tonight at the Royal Rumble. What a matchup between both competitors. You could see during the earlier action, Bayley had went for that elbow drop. She pulls it out of her arsenal whenever she feels like, she's got to reach in deeper and get into the deeper waters. Bianca Belair hitting several KODs, but it just was not enough to take out Bayley. You saw those punches that they exchanged to each other. And Bianca Belair setting up that comeback sequence until it was the end. But Bianca, you saw there, she used the braid to her advantage to take out Bayley. We thought we were going to crown a new champion there. And she's hit the KOD. Thought that was it. But instead, Bayley had other plans. You saw there, she just managed to sneak it in very last second to Bayley to belly, and then from there saw the limited time window that she had open, hit the rose plant, went for the cover, and 3 seconds was all it took to finish this off.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is Jordan and Bayley.
And a brilliant defense here tonight by Bayley. And what the hell? Charlotte Flair, the Women's Royal Rumble winner from earlier, setting her focus onto Bayley. She has not obviously forgotten what happened a couple of weeks ago. And Charlotte Flair is making her statement known tonight that she's gonna go after Bayley and she's gonna take her title again.
The following is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE and WWE World Heavyweight Championships. Introducing the challenger. From Sin City, weighing in at 265 pounds, Karrion Kross. And his opponent, from Bray, County Wicklow, Ireland, weighing in at 190 pounds, the WWE Champion and the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Finn Balor.
And Balor's got a big test to prove here tonight, as he is set once more for another championship defense of the men's world title against the winner of the winner of the Fatal 4-Way of the men's Survivor Series matchup in Karrion Kross. Here we go, the bell rings, the match is underway, and immediately Finn Balor focuses his attention. Oh, instead, no, it seemed like Karrion Kross was the guy who ended up getting an advantage here, just multiple stiff shots onto the champion. And once again gets back up there, Finn Balor, Karrion Kross, multiple punches there, gets him into a forearm. Finn Balor counters with a punch of his own. Gets him up here, and I know right now Finn Balor looking to go into WrestleMania holding the championship, as he currently holds the title for over 140 days after defeating Gunther back at SummerSlam last year in August. And Karrion Kross does not care about the stats. He does not care about Finn Balor. He is just looking to destroy and looking to represent Schism the best of his ability to win the championship tonight. And Karrion Kross, obviously no stranger to the world title picture. He was a former world heavyweight champion in his own accord whenever he was on SmackDown a couple years ago, way before his Schism days. You cannot forget, I mean, his rivalries with like AJ Styles and Bobby Roode at that point. And Finn Balor looking to be is currently the new wave, the guy, the franchise of this company so far. I mean, you hold the world title, you're the face of this business. You're the main guy of the industry, and Karrion Kross is looking to be just that. He doesn't care really much about the admiration of the crowd. He doesn't care about, trying to please the audience. He loves pain. He loves to make people just agonize in pain. That is Karrion Kross for him. And that is exactly what he's trying to do, or at least in this case, doing to Finn Balor. And honestly, this is what Schism represent themselves as. Scarlett, you see there, distracting John Cone, the referee, and Finn Balor going to Irish whip into the ropes, and instead Karrion Kross stopped him himself there for a split second. I guess Karrion's plan of trying to, get the referee distracted so that he can capitalize on his own didn't really work out too well in his favor. Finn Balor looking to hype up the crowd here tonight. And of course, still later on tonight, we've still got our main event of the evening, our men's Royal Rumble, our 30-man men's Royal Rumble matchup, where the winner will be set off in the sea there. A nice attack by Finn Balor and going to the cover there. Could this be it to put it away? And a kick out there by Kross. As I was mentioning, the winner of that men's Royal Rumble set to face either Finn Balor, could be Karrion Kross. I know the road to WrestleMania can be unpredictable at times. Right now, Finn Balor distracted there by the mistress in Scarlett. And Karrion Kross setting him up there for a cross jacket, looking to tap out Finn Balor, looking to pass him out, looking to finish him off for good, as Balor's in trouble, unable to get out of the sleeper hold, but this time he is able to use just enough strength to open up Kross's arms. Goes for that kick there, but instead counters into that step up. Balor once more gets back up to his feet at the top. And another sling blade there by the champion into a drop kick. onto Cross. And Balor looking to finish things off already. Sets up the coup de grace onto Karrion Kross. Cover here. Is this Sit looking to put him away this early into the matchup? And a kick out, though, by Karrion. Finn's got to think, you know, what am I really going to do in this sequence? If Finn Balor possesses, you know, those quick strikes, those aerial assaults, Karrion Kross is a technician. He will focus on if he sees any weak point in a body part, he will exploit it as much as possible. And he's not been afraid to show it in the past. We've seen plenty of instances where he's, you know, tried to injure and hurt people's arms in the past. That's just who Karrion is. And these two are looking to fight here on the outside. Finn Balor just took apart our announce table. I guess I look like Michael Cole right now. And a 3 count there by the referee. Finn Balor, I think he's got something else in mind, but instead he plants his back onto the mat. A 7 count though. Karrion Kross does not really care. I mean, obviously Karrion would love to win the World Championship tonight. I mean, why wouldn't he? He's in the title matchup, obviously. But to think, I really do not believe that Kross would prioritize himself as world champ. I think Kross would just have more fun in the idea that people are going after him. Like, that's just who he comes across as to me. See some taunting there, the crowd there by Finn Balor. Another attack though by Kross into that. Seemed to be a forearm. Gets him into the corner. Karrion Kross going to pick up some momentum here into the clotheslines them onto the mat. Goes for the cover there, and that seemed like that plan backfired, as that only just gave Finn Balor a couple of seconds to recover. Now once more Karrion Kross, you could see him just tasting the blood in his mouth as he hits him with that. I believe that's a Doomsday Zaido cover now. Instead, Finn Balor is going to break it up here. Kross in a predicament situation here. Multiple slaps between both competitors. Balor and Kross not giving up here. Once more, Karrion Kross instead gonna take advantage, going for the insult there to injury. Karrion Kross, is this it? Do we have a new world champion? And instead it's a kick out by Finn Balor. I think it's gonna take way more out of Kross's arsenal if he wants to put him away here. Finn Balor is one resilient SOB, and he's the champ for a reason. He's taken out men the size of Karrion Kross and he stepped up to adversity in the past, and he's not afraid of going up to anybody's face, and Karrion Kross isn't either. He's got nothing to lose in this situation. Goes for another one, and this time just looking to break Balor's neck as much as possible. That might even be all it would need to do to finish the match, and instead Balor with the kick out. Kross is willing to literally kill a man if it means that they get to stay down for 3 seconds. And Kross dragging Finn's carcass, it seems, or whatever's even left out of Finn Balor right now, to finish him off here. Sets him up once more, plants him onto the mat, and I really do not think Finn Balor has too much, and a 1 count! A 1 count by Finn freaking Balor. Used up almost all of the strength and will that he had right there to kick out at 1. And even though it took a lot out of it, right now he's energized. I think he's finally woken up and realized what's happening around here and set him up there. Balor heads up to the top, goes for a coup de grace here onto Karrion Kross. You see Scarlett over there in the corner trying to distract the referee, but Finn Balor setting up once more for a standing coup de grace. Can he hit it here? Got him! Into the cover. And Balor's gonna retain. What a matchup between these two. Brilliant sequence between the two. You saw the match started with very early on with Karrion Kross dominating a majority of it until Finn Balor decided to pick up the ante and started going after Karrion Kross. You saw the match sequence there. Balor just so quick and agile on his feet enough to get the job done. Karrion Kross brought a hell of a fight on his end, but I think at the end of the day, Finn Balor was just too quick for him. He didn't get enough damage to finish the job, but he definitely left Finn Balor to leave the arena with a couple of scars. He may have damaged his body in the process of the matchup, but he did not break his fighting spirit. Karrion Kross, you saw there multiple instances where we believed we were going to see a new world champion on the road to WrestleMania, but instead that did not happen. And Karrion Kross took his eye off the ball for just a couple of seconds, and Finn Balor, that was all he needed to take advantage and win the matchup.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your Finn Balor!
An impressive win tonight by the men's world champion, as he's now got his focus set tonight on whoever the men's Royal Rumble winner will be, and then also as well who would challenge him at Mania.
The following contest is the Royal Rumble match! Now, the two superstars that drew number 1 and number 2 will start the ring at the same time. Other superstars will join in the order they drew. This will continue until all 30 superstars have entered the ring. Eliminations occur when you are thrown over the top rope with both feet landing on the floor. The last superstar in the ring will be declared the Royal Rumble winner and will go on to face the champion of their choice at WrestleMania!
My way, my life.
Introducing the participants. First, from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing in at 223 pounds, Lexis King.
I am not going to be honest, bro. I don't know what the hell Lexis was thinking before he walked into this thing, because he is coming into this at number 1, and I wish I had the confidence he did for him to be out here gloating that he's going to win the whole thing and go through 29 other people when this guy has not won a match in months. But you know what? This is going to be interesting to see. Who the hell is he going to face for number 2? And of course, the number 2 position, the tribal chief, the head of the table. I think Lexis might as well just pack his bags and go home.
Introducing the individual who drew number 2 from Pensacola, Florida, weighing in at 265 pounds, the OTC, Roman Reigns!
And Reigns tonight at the number 2 position. He's gonna have to go through 29 other competitors, as we've already seen earlier tonight. that Charlotte Flair won the Women's Royal Rumble, and now tonight he's looking to set his sights on WrestleMania. That is his goal here, as Reigns stated that he is looking to get there by any means necessary. And if that means that he's got to make an example out of Lexis King, then that's exactly what he's going to do. But at the same time, the thing with Roman is that he hasn't really had the best of luck as of recently in terms of matches. It seems like he's been off his game. They're pretty much distracted for the most part. A lot of the title matches that he's gotten the last couple of months, whenever he was facing Rollins for the World Heavyweight title, was unsuccessful. But tonight, he said, it's a new year. I am going to right my wrongs, and I'm going to become a world champion. Reigns tonight is looking to immortalize himself. And the bell rings. The matchup is underway. You see Reigns pretty much was about to go for a spear there, but Lexis King countered. Or as I guess people like to call him in the locker room, Burger King, because I mean, this man is just, well, let's see the slap in the head there onto Roman. Lexis King just completely confident here, says he's going to win the Rumble. But I mean, compared to the men that are in this matchup, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to top that off here. Goes for that kick there, but instead Roman Reigns counters. Nice sequence there by Lexis and takes him down onto the mat. And same rules apply as the Women's Rumble from earlier, as a slap there by Roman to the chest. Grabs a handful of his hair here, looking to take him out early as possible. And it would be a pretty good strategy to eliminate everybody one-on-one, as we now await already number 3 in the 10 countdown. And now here comes some BCW representation with the former world tag team, or the former tag team champion, and Tyler Bate from BCW, a Tyler driver there as he takes out Roman. Not arguably, they've got to be one of the best tag team champions in BCW's history, as Tyler Bate tonight, always a fun surprise to watch in any of his matches. A young, charismatic man who pretty much, if you don't even take him seriously, he's gonna capitalize. And he, the younger star, looking to take Roman Reigns out here, already has him over the top rope. Can he eliminate him this early? Can you imagine if he's able to do so, as he's already got him over? All he's got to do is take him out, but Reigns instead counters and goes for those elbows onto Tyler's legs. Goes for the punch here, as now we await number 4. Maybe somebody that can kick Lexis King's ass here. In the number 4 position for the former Intercontinental Champion in JD McDonough. And Tyler Bate immediately going right after JD. Went for that springboard and then elbowed him in that instance. And Lexis King focuses his sights onto Roman Reigns, already throws him over the top rope. Lexis King going for that neck breaker here. Already eliminated Roman Reigns from this matchup. What a shocking elimination here by Lexis King, as he now canonically has an actual kind of win. Well, not really, but right now it just seems like he's going to watch Tyler Bate and JD McDonough go at it. And I think the best strategy that he's trying to do here is just keep away from the action, but instead JD's going to go right after him. As three of the competitors so far focusing their sights on each other. Lexis King already out of this matchup. There he goes. First 2 competitors to start off already out of this thing. And now we await the exciting, acrobatic Nathan Frazier. He stares down at JD and Tyler Bate. Of course, as well, he's also just, playing it smart here and trying not to, get involved too much, only when there's an opening, as he goes for that attack there onto Tyler Bate. Nice roll out there from by JD McDonough. Goes for another elbow here. As once more Tyler Bate is going to stay out of this thing. Goes for that German suplex. Almost had him into a bridge there. Nathan Frazier into the Frankensteiner. Onto Tyler Bate. Brilliant moveset that this guy Nathan has. Gets him already back up, but instead Tyler Bate counters. Go instead JD. Brilliant double team here. Bate went for the punch and then immediately followed up with that headbutt from JD, and then Tyler Bate capitalizing on JD with the attack. And the number 6 position goes to the former world heavyweight champion in Seth Rollins. And immediately gets hit with the sling blade though from Nathan Frazier. As Seth Rollins, he had just recently lost his world title at New Year's Revolution to Finn. And he said that he is looking to get his rematch. And he's looking to go to WrestleMania as well. But I mean, there's only going to be one competitor that's going to be able to do so. As Seth Rollins tried to take out JD, but instead he had no luck there. And Tyler and Nathan Frazier focused their attention onto each other. Nice step up enziguri there by the high flyer. Nathan Frazier sets up the 450. Brilliant execution there. And Seth Rollins going for a springboard here onto JD McDonough. I know these two have had history with each other in the past. They put on a hell of a banger back at Halloween Havoc as he hits him with the curb stomp. Another move there onto Tyler Bate as we await the next entrant. And the newly rebranded LWO as Cruz del Toro is now in this matchup. And we already know that their brethren Andrade already confirmed he was going to be in this matchup, but it seems to me like it's going to be all members that are going to be here tonight. Seth Rollins going for those multiple sequences onto that sling blade to JD McDonough. And Cruz del Toro, I think his best plan right now is they prioritize the numbers game. So if he can stall as much as possible to keep Andrade and Joaquin in this thing, I think they've got a very good chance of winning it. Or at least have one of the members go over and represent LWO and go to WrestleMania. Nice reversal there by Cruz, going for that drop kick onto Nathan Frazier's knees. That is the one advantage. You see Tyler Bate, always fun to watch in the ring, as you see that he's just making JD as dizzy as possible. Brilliant move here. Seth Rollins watches on. And the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, enters in the matchup. And I know he's got history with Seth Rollins and immediately goes after him. Sets up the Styles clash, and there goes JD McDonough. And a chop block there from Styles to Bate. You know, Styles and Rollins, they've feuded before in the past when Seth was world champion. More recently, when they had competed back at SummerSlam in that triple threat with Roman. Of course, Roman had already been gone and out already. A nice neck breaker there by Styles. A great splash there by Nathan Frazier. Gets Irish whipped by Cruz del Toro, but instead he gets reversed. And all 5 of these men right now in the ring vying for the same opportunity. The chance to immortalize themselves in the history books, as now we await the next entrant in the last 3 seconds. And Melo is not gonna miss the Rumble. Of course, the current United States champion in the matchup, as he immediately goes after the bigger star in Seth Rollins in this match. All the other guys here, of course, you know, they haven't had the experience that Styles or Rollins have, but they are just as hungry for an opportunity. As right now, Carmelo Hayes goes right after Tyler Bate, and Styles and Rollins focus their attention back onto each other. And immediately goes for that punch, and Rollins is out. There goes his WrestleMania chances. AJ Styles focusing his attention. I know he's been in a bit of a predicament with Andrade when he tried to injure him by getting attacked with the steel chair, and at this point he's just trying to take his frustration out on his brethren in Cruz and Joaquin, but in this case, it's just Cruz right now. Nathan Frazier trying to go for an attack there, gets reversed. And Styles another forearm there onto Cruz del Toro. And it seems like there's going to be some factions in this thing. Joe Coffey from Gallus joins the fight and immediately goes after Tyler Bate here. Nathan Frazier, another Hurricanrana, Frankensteiner onto Styles. Gets him into the corner once more. Joe Coffey just vicious uppercut there into the corner, and Styles is going to capitalize here. Tyler Bate once more. Impressive showing on his end. But right now he's looking like he's in trouble there by Styles. You see Carmelo taking the breathing on the outside. He's trying to keep himself invisible as much as possible so that nobody tries to target him. And I mean, I wouldn't blame him in this situation. I would do the same thing. Goes for that neck breaker there onto Joe Coffey. AJ gets Irish whipped to the outside, and it would have been a hell of a moment for Cruz del Toro to eliminate Styles, but that didn't happen. Now we await the next entrant. Tyler Bate just looking for something to do. Cruz del Toro in trouble here, as Nathan Frazier is going to get some help in this matchup as his tag team partner Cedric Alexander joins the fight. And Cedric, former BCW heavyweight champion. But since then, he's been looking to make a name for himself around here since he joined SmackDown, and there goes Frazier. It doesn't seem like they really got to work together here in this match. The Styles looking to already get Cedric Alexander out as well. And Carmelo Hayes heads up to the top looking to take out Cruz del Toro as he hits nothing but net. And Tyler Bate trying to get out Joe Coffey here, but it seems like that's not going to happen. Styles focuses his attention onto Carmelo Hayes. I know that is a matchup a lot of people would love to see down the line between these two, but obviously it's not possible due to the brand split. As now we await the next competitor here. Cedric taking a breathing. Tyler Bate finding and looking at the next entrant. More BCW representation. The heavyweight champ Austin Theory joins this fight now, and immediately sets his sights on the bigger guy and AJ Styles here. And now he's just gonna set his sights one more onto Cruz. The thing with Austin Theory is that he is cheeky and he is cunning. He's going to find any way he possibly can to make himself look better without even trying to do even an inch of effort onto anything. And I think Cedric sees right through that, and he's already trying to get him out here. And Joe Coffey throws Tyler Bate, and now he's eliminated. What elimination down for Gallus here tonight. And Cedric's in trouble, but instead it seems like Joe Coffey focuses again onto a suplex onto Austin Theory. Another Irish whip once more. AJ Styles eliminated though by Carmelo. We now await the next entrant in the Rumble match. Every man for himself in this situation. And BCW having a showcase here tonight, it seems. Tommaso Ciampa joins the fray, immediately going after the Gallus brethren and Joe Coffey. Cedric with that high knee onto Cruz del Toro. Brilliant acrobatics there by Cedric Alexander. Tommaso Ciampa, former and inaugural BCW Hardcore champ before he had lost the title to New Jack. And Irish whips Austin Theory into the corner. I know they've had their history before as well. He would love to eliminate their world champ, but it seems Cruz is out of it now. And Ciampa now it's on the outside as well. He's in a deep predicament here. Carmelo Hayes setting up another nothing but net for this time Joe Coffey. Misses it here. There's so much action happening all at the same time that you don't know what's happening, and there goes Joe. Austin Theory focuses his sights on Cedric. Tommaso going right after Carmelo Hayes, and there goes Cedric. And now we are down to 3 competitors. We've still got more to come. But right now, BCW showcasing that they are the top brand as he hits the fairy tale ending onto Hayes. And the high-flying quick axiom the man who fought Carmelo Hayes for the United States title back a couple of weeks ago in what was a hell of a matchup between the two. As he now grabs him here, but it seems like they want to away from each other. I mean, both men have had a lot of respect for each other after that match happening. I mean, I don't blame them. Carmelo Hayes focuses on Austin Theory, while Ciampa goes right after Axiom. And not a neck breaker, but a back breaker there by Ciampa. Austin Theory looks to plummet Carmelo Hayes onto the mat. And Tommaso Ciampa, just very high ring IQ, goes for that attack there onto Axiom. Carmelo Hayes looking to eliminate Austin Theory in this matchup here, as Axiom is also in trouble. Tommaso Ciampa could put him away, but instead it seems like he doesn't want to do so yet. They're going to wait until somebody else comes in. And what's got to be one of the favorites to win this matchup, the resilient Ilya Dragunov joins the fight, takes out Austin Theory, but instead Axiom gets eliminated by Ciampa. And now Austin Theory and Ilya Dragunov focus their sights onto each other. That is the advantage of entering later on into the matchup. You get a fresher competitor in this thing, because that is what Ilya is looking to do here. He is looking to go all the way. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he does, and a fairy tale ending there by Ciampa to Carmelo Hayes. He's going to be stunned and out for a while, as him and Austin Theory are not moving, in a very strong clothesline, lariat of sorts, onto Ciampa. Once more, just vicious slaps there. Ilya Dragunov, such a striker in the ring, and there goes Carmelo. And now once more, Ilya Dragunov in trouble, and he's stunned. And now we're going to get Theory and Ciampa one-on-one for a little bit. And the Intercontinental Champion, Damian Priest, now joins the fight after he had successfully retained the Intercontinental title against Santos Escobar last week, as he made his sights known that he was looking to go after Finn, or whoever the world champ was going to be come WrestleMania, as he's trying to get Ilya Dragunov out. And I know Ilya and Damian also have some history between each other, as Damian Priest even refuses to give Ilya a title match. He's already tried to eliminate him, and he does. And there goes Ciampa over the top rope, and instead Austin Theory miscalculated. Priest with that stiff super kick as Austin Theory gets taken down, and now Priest focuses his attention onto Ciampa. Looks to eliminate him here, but instead Ciampa's going to counter. As we now await the next entrant into the Royal Rumble matchup. We are already halfway down the field. And now we got to put up with more BS because Logan Paul's in this thing. I don't know what the hell. Damian Priest is already almost getting eliminated there, it seems, but obviously Logan Paul is not going to do anything right now. He's just looking around. He's trying to assess what's happening. And the very first person he's going after is a weakened Ciampa. Very smart on his end, though, as he's already tried to get him out here. Damian Priest looking to fly over the top rope, but instead Ciampa there counters Logan Paul's attacks onto the splash there on Austin Theory. And Ciampa focuses his attention onto Logan Paul, trying to get him out here. I know his best friend Lexis King has already gotten eliminated. They were hoping to both be in this matchup together, but I mean, that's the thing with these Rumble matches. They are unpredictable. You cannot calculate what is even going to happen or who's going to come out. Damian Priest, multiple stiff shots onto Ciampa, as every competitor was down currently except Damian Priest. He did make his statement known that he was going to dominate, and that is what it looks like it's doing. And the former tag team champion, well, there goes Ciampa with the former tag team champion, Austin Theory, going for the move there onto Damian Priest, as Dexter Lumis from Schism joins this matchup. I know his brethren in Karrion Kross lost to Finn Balor earlier, and there goes Priest. And there goes Dexter Lumis over the top as well, but instead he managed to hang on just in the nick of time. Logan Paul and Austin Theory have got to be two of the most infuriating people that are in this ring right now, and they are both working together to take out Dexter Lumis. If it really is a point where both of these men are going to be the last two, I think a lot of people are not going to be very happy with that result. Dexter Lumis with a punch there onto Paul, but instead Austin Theory, you could see earlier in the matchup, he got busted open on his forehead. Not really sure what had occurred or when it happened, but now we await the next entrant. And the former World Heavyweight Champion, Drew McIntyre, not wasting any time as he immediately eliminates Logan Paul. And a Claymore there onto Austin Theory. Drew McIntyre, it's going to take a lot to take him out. Austin Theory, there he goes. And Drew McIntyre grabbing Dexter Lumis by the hair, looking to take him out already. Can you imagine Drew McIntyre here trying to be the single man out in this entire Rumble? Dexter Lumis in trouble here, could be eliminated. He's trying to wait at least for maybe Joe Gacy to come out later in the matchup, assuming that he's going to be in the Rumble. And Drew McIntyre goes for the jaw there of the former WWE champion, and there goes Dexter Lumis. Drew McIntyre, the only man in the ring right now. He's letting them know to bring it. Whoever is going to come out is going to have to give it their best shot. And that's exactly what the number 20 position in Dragon Lee is going to have to do right now. The current Money in the Bank holder has an opportunity to challenge for the world title at a time of his choosing and immediately goes to work onto Drew McIntyre. That is the thing with Dragon Lee. He is quicker and more agile in the ring, but Drew McIntyre powers over him. Makes for a combination where it could go either way for either man right now. Dragon Lee goes for the attack on the leg of Drew McIntyre. Very smart on his end, though, to go for the legs and keep him down as much as possible. Hits him with a Hurricanrana. And once more gets Drew McIntyre back up here. Drew counters, looking to eliminate Dragon Lee already from this thing, but instead he's going to counter, and he's going to still stay in this thing. And a vicious slap there onto McIntyre and a drop kick there. As now we await number 21, as we have already went through 20 competitors in this matchup, and we've still got 9 more to go, including LA Knight that's coming out here at number 21. And he immediately focuses. Well, I guess instead what he's going to do is he's going to just watch Dragon Lee and Drew McIntyre do their own thing and then focus back on the match. But Dragon Lee and Drew McIntyre still so focused on each other, and I think it's just going to take a lot to break them up right now. Dragon Lee trying to eliminate LA Knight already when he just entered this matchup not too long ago, and he's already out of this thing. And now they focus back onto each other in the meanwhile until somebody else comes in. Vicious slap to the chest there by Dragon Lee. Goes for the ripcord there onto the Scottish Warrior. And Dragon Lee telling him to bring it. He's not afraid of Drew McIntyre as he busts him open there. Takes the knee pads off at this point. Dragon Lee doing anything he can to take him out. And what a Claymore there by McIntyre. Sami Zayn enters the number 22 position in the Rumble. But I mean, there's nothing really much that these competitors can do. I mean, McIntyre and Dragon Lee just keep going after each other. But I don't think it's going to last for very long as Dragon Lee gets eliminated. Sami Zayn now focuses his attention onto Drew McIntyre into that reversal into a suplex. A German suplex there by Zayn. Stiff punches onto the back and slams his face onto the mat here, hyping up the crowd. Sami Zayn felt like he got robbed of the opportunity last year whenever Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins main evented WrestleMania last year. And Sami Zayn ruined that opportunity, and Drew has since then just had so much, like, he's just hated Sami since then, honestly. Sami cashed in. It was a failed cash in, but because of it, Drew lost his title. And the Rebel Heart himself, Johnny Gargano, enters this matchup. It would have been nice to see him with his good friend Tommaso Ciampa in this match, but Ciampa's already eliminated. And Gargano immediately going after Drew McIntyre, but it's going to be very difficult to take him out of this thing. Oh, and a vicious Claymore, but I guess Gargano just got stunned while standing up there. Sami Zayn gets him back up to the corner. Can he eliminate him here? Instead of forearm by McIntyre, hits him in a headbutt. Glasgow kiss into the Claymore. What a performance here by Drew McIntyre. I don't think it's going to last very long for Johnny Gargano. Instead, he could possibly eliminate Drew, taking out a big threat from this matchup, but instead Drew gets back inside. Gargano hits him with that attack on the knee. Sami Zayn's going to take that breather here. Just watch along as Gargano hits the Gargano escape onto McIntyre. I don't really know what his submission's going to do for him much here. McIntyre taps out, but it's not like he's eliminated or anything. He's got to go over the top rope. But Drew's got some help right now. Wolfgang joins the matchup. His Gallus brethren is going to at least help him out here. Sami Zayn focuses once more onto McIntyre and then onto Gargano. Wolfgang right now doesn't seem like he, wants to hurt Drew McIntyre or anything. Obviously not. I mean, they're in this to win it. If it comes down to them as the last two, then they will have to do what they need to do, or one of them will win. And a big boot, though, from Wolfgang to Drew McIntyre. And in this instance, I mean, he understands that he can't just be allied with him the whole time. As Gargano got eliminated there, as I forgot to mention, Sami Zayn gets Wolfgang back up to his feet, sets him up here for the Blue Thunder Bomb. And Drew McIntyre tried to go for a punch there, but I guess he missed. Now we await the next entrant. There goes Wolfgang. We focus again on McIntyre and Sami Zayn. And BCW's Penta joins the matchup. We saw what a hell of a fight that he put up against New Jack a couple of weeks ago for the hardcore title. As we know, Penta can go the limit. He's willing to do anything it takes to take out a competitor, as he just took out Drew McIntyre there. Sami Zayn focuses and Penta counters, gets him into the corner here. He could eliminate him as soon as right now, as McIntyre is stunned onto the floor. Sami Zayn just grabbing on to the top rope with as much strength as he possibly still has within him. Sami Zayn focuses again onto Drew McIntyre. Almost eliminated him there, but Penta focuses with that springboard sling blade onto Sami Zayn. And another shoulder tackle there by the big man. Every man weakened at this point. McIntyre once again still standing as the number 26 entrant. McIntyre hits the future shock there. Sami and Drew once more. This has got to be the most yaoi matchup currently so far in the Rumble, as these two cannot get their hands off of each other. Joe Gacy in this matchup. Now I forgot to mention, though, I think it's not going to last very long. Instead, I take that back. He instead countered and he gets back in this thing. Joe Gacy, former World Tag Team Champion, alongside his good buddy Dexter Lumis, but Dexter already eliminated from this thing. Penta focuses on Drew McIntyre, trying to weaken him as much as possible. Sami Zayn could eliminate Joe Gacy from this matchup. Goes for the attack, and there goes Sami. Penta's got Drew on his shoulders, but instead Drew's going to counter. Rolls out of it just ahead of time. And what an attack there by Joe Gacy. We are only a few select men away from our 30 competitors here tonight for the opportunity to compete for the world title at Mania. And the LWO's Joaquin Wilde now joins the fray. We do know as well, we've still got Andrade that's left. He declared himself for the Rumble match. I wouldn't be surprised if he backstage politicked his way to be around this spot, and there goes Penta.
Penta has been eliminated.
As Joaquin Wilde, we saw here that Sami Zayn went for that attack, and now Joe Gacy focuses on Drew McIntyre, tries to Irish whip him to the outside, and instead Drew reverses. Sami Zayn once more focusing again on Drew McIntyre. He really just cannot take his hands off of him whatsoever. Joe Gacy instead is going to break it up. Sami counters into a kick. And now Joe Gacy and Joaquin Wilde going to focus their attention onto each other here as he goes for that move here. Drew McIntyre goes over the top rope, and there he goes. Sami eliminates him. Joaquin Wilde into that Hurricanrana there onto Sami Zayn. We saw Tyler Bate earlier, and now tonight his tag team partner from BCW, Pete Dunne, joins this match. And there goes Joe Gacy as he could be eliminated here, but instead he's still in this. Still manages to hang on. Sami with the big boot. Pete Dunne with that vicious assault. And there goes Joe Gacy. He's out of the match.
Has been eliminated.
And now Sami and Pete Dunne gonna double team onto Joaquin Wilde. Joaquin's just trying to drag this out as much as possible. He knows Andrade is going to be coming into this matchup soon. And that's going to be a good numbers game for the LWO. And Pete Dunne once more gets Joaquin back up to his feet. Sami just watching along. It's really a case where Sami just really wants to fight right now. But I mean, in this case, you can't really risk any stamina right now. The stamina-based matchup. Back elbow there as we await number 29 as Andrade now joins the matchup. Brainbuster there from Sami Zayn, and now Andrade. We saw the betrayal that he caused when he attacked Santos Escobar on SmackDown last week. And that answered a lot of questions that we had from the last couple of months, essentially kicking Santos out of the group and now reforming his own vision of the LWO. And Santos was supposed to be scheduled for this Rumble matchup, but unfortunately because of the attack from Andrade, he's unable to compete again, even right after coming off of injury. I think this man is just injury prone at this point. Sami Zayn, Irish whip. No, not an Irish whip. Instead, he Hurricanrana onto Joaquin Wilde, and Sami with the big boot onto Pete Dunne. We await the last competitor in this matchup. Pete Dunne goes over the top rope and he's out. The number 30 position, Braun Breaker, joins the fight. The former United States champion is looking to win his first Rumble matchup, and immediately focuses his attention onto Sami Zayn and hits him with the spear. Sami Zayn, Joaquin Wilde, Braun Breaker, and Andrade, the final four competitors in the men's Rumble. One of these men is going to face Finn Balor, whoever the world champ could be come WrestleMania in a couple months. Braun Breaker looking to eliminate Joaquin Wilde here, throws him on the ropes. Oh, and a vicious slam there by Braun Breaker. Andrade on the other end, we've got Andrade and Sami Zayn focusing their attention onto each other. Braun could be eliminated here, pushes away Joaquin Wilde and gets back in this thing. Sami Zayn in trouble though. Andrade, what a nice move there. As he likes to say, he likes to stay tranquilo, as he likes to call it. That is their motto in the LWO. And Santos, obviously, not able to be here tonight, but we see Braun Breaker tried to eliminate Joaquin Wilde here. Instead, he rolls into this thing again. Sami Zayn in trouble, could be eliminated already. Braun Breaker goes for another attack onto Joaquin. And Andrade, so close to eliminating Zayn. He's just got to get his right arm away from the rope, and there goes Joaquin. Final three competitors. Andrade almost eliminates Zayn there, but he still hangs on for dear life. All three competitors have got the same goal in mind right now, but only one of them can actually get that ticket to Mania. An attack there by Sami Zayn. Sami's been in this matchup the longest so far, and he's been a resilient competitor currently, as Braun Breaker hits him with the spine buster. And Andrade focuses his attention. Can you imagine if Andrade wins the Royal Rumble here tonight? What a huge victory that would be for the LWO. Oh my goodness, Sami Zayn countered there. Focuses his attention again on Braun Breaker. And now Sami going for a snap suplex there onto Breaker. And Andrade is going to stay away from this thing. The smarter competitor right now as he goes for the springboard onto the drop kick onto Sami Zayn. Andrade possibly could eliminate Sami Zayn, but instead Sami focuses on Braun Breaker, understands that he is the quickest competitor in this, while Andrade's got to be the smartest, and Sami obviously is the one with the biggest heart so far. Andrade, another back forearm onto Sami Zayn, could eliminate him here. He's got him on the corner. He's got him over the top rope. He could take him out here. Sami Zayn in trouble. Might not last in this thing too long, but he's still in it. He's still going and he's still fighting whatsoever. And another spinning back elbow there by Andrade. He could follow pursuit in winning the Rumble as Charlotte Flair did earlier. And Sami and Andrade going at it one-on-one here. Nice German suplex there by the underdog. And Braun Breaker Irish whips Zayn onto the ropes here. Instead takes him down. Andrade sees the opening. Goes right after Braun Breaker. Braun is just going to go and clear house and hits him with the spine buster and another knee onto Sami Zayn. You could see the adrenaline in Braun's eyes right now as he gets Sami up to his feet. Fired up is Braun Breaker, and he eliminates Sami Zayn.
Has been eliminated.
See the roar of the crowd here. Hits the spear onto Andrade. Braun Breaker knows what's coming. He knows that this is only the beginning of the end. He feels Andrade can only stall for so long. Throws him over the top rope. Andrade pushes him out of the way though. Looking to win this matchup here as he takes him down with a shoulder drag onto Braun Breaker. Goes for the attack there. Another forearm there by Braun. Braun and Andrade. Another collar and elbow tie up here as both men vying for the same goal here as Breaker goes for the attack and takes down Andrade. Feeling the crowd here tonight. Once more, another Irish whip, and Andrade this time he's got the advantage. Goes for those stiff forearms. And going for the attack there onto Braun Breaker. Andrade understands and he feels a victory closing in for him. And he does not seem phased at all. Looks like he's just living another day in the office for him as he gets that knee onto Braun Breaker. You hear some people in the crowd booing him, but I don't think Andrade really gives a crap. He gets Braun Breaker to the corner once more. Andrade looking to win this thing, but instead Braun Breaker counters. Goes for that punch there. Stiff punch, and instead Andrade's going to counter into a forearm. Grabs him here, Irish whip. Into the ropes, into a spinning back elbow. And this could be the beginning of the end for Braun Breaker as Andrade looks to win the Rumble match. Finishes him off here. And all he's got to do is throw him over the top rope. And he will cement his name in history. Braun Breaker goes flying over the top rope, and instead he counters. Still hangs on. Braun Breaker is still fighting. I don't know how the hell he is, but he just hit him with a spear. Braun Breaker gets Andrade up to his feet. Can he do it here tonight? Can he eliminate Andrade? And he does. Breaker's going to WrestleMania. And you see the final moments during the last four competitors: Andrade, Zayn, Joaquin, and Braun Breaker. First it was Joaquin that was eliminated. Then it was eventually Sami Zayn, but they were fighting for a while until Andrade set his sights onto Sami Zayn here during the replay sequence in the earlier of the matchup. You see that standoff between the three, and Andrade hit Sami Zayn with a spinning back elbow, and then we were down to two. It looked like Andrade was going to win this thing and go to WrestleMania. And you see that he hit him there with the move as Andrade might have gloated a little bit too early. Got too confident, and Braun Breaker capitalized. Needed just a couple of seconds to hit him with a spear and throw him over the top rope as he's going to challenge the world champ. And we thank you for joining us here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The match is set. The main event underway. Finn Balor and Braun Breaker for the men's world title at WrestleMania. Oh, but it seems like Balor's want to see get a front row seat here tonight, and he wants to stare down the winner of the Rumble and see who he's up against. Balor and Braun Breaker, your WrestleMania main event. The road to WrestleMania.